Okay, everybody here. So nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me to your network. It's a pure pleasure. My name is Petronella, and I have been working for Microsoft a bit over 1 year. I've been working with data and AI since the 90s. I got a data bite when I was at the business school, and I actually worked with something that was called management science, where we try to predict how the world is going to look like and give good kind of a basis for management to make decisions. So some kind of a business intelligence in the early stages. And there, in combination, so I studied marketing, and I wanted to understand the consumer behavior. And through data, then it was introduced also data mining algorithms, and I thought this is a great thing. And that path I took, and I'm still working with data today. Very happy about that. I've been also working a lot with marketing, sales, and also as a consultant. I don't have a technical background, but I have built some data models on my time with Kimball's theory, with the dimensional modeling. We have come far from that, and now we're in the public cloud era, which is a fantastic step forward. And now then opening up the AI to the big masses and to the public. So this is a kind of a revolution that we are living at the moment. And let's discuss today also how this will impact our world and our ways of working and so on. Very happy to be here. I have my daughter, which is the reason why I live in Palma, Kate. She goes in school here in Palma de Mallorca. We have been visiting the island for 9 years, and now we have been staying here for 2 years. But I still work to Sweden, so I have a long, long distance relationship to my work. The only one who is actually Spanish in our household is our cat, Simon. He is from Palma. Okay. I was thinking to have this kind of agenda so that I don't know what your kind of background is within the ChatGPT and so on, but I was just thinking that maybe good to go through what it is and what it isn't, look into a little bit of how Microsoft plays into this scene, and also then look at some examples. And as said, I'm not going very deep technical, but I'm more than happy to provide you with links to GitHub repos and so on. For example, how to build your own internal ChatGPT for your company and so on. So that could be an interesting exercise to do afterwards. Okay, but let's go. How many of you have already tried ChatGPT? Wow, this is the best audience ever. I was during this week, I have had one audience where there was only 3 people, and that was in Sweden. I was amazed, but there were more of the engineers in the cars, you know. Yes, but as we know, so this has been a phenomenon. I have never seen so much media coverage all over the press, not only in technical press, but also in cultural, political, all kinds of discussions throughout the months that the OpenAI and ChatGPT has been publicly available. And I know that we all have had furious discussions, both pros and cons, about the OpenAI at the coffee machine, at the dinner table, with our family and with our friends. I even ended up talking about OpenAI and ChatGPT on a date. There was no second date. So we all know that this is huge. I thought this was also very funny, because we have very fast things here on our planet and outside. So we know the cheetah, the very fast animal. We have the airplanes, we have the speed of light, but nothing is as fast as people coming, AI experts in the era of OpenAI and ChatGPT. Everybody knows something, and everybody has something to say. So that's great. Some kind of very important and interesting points from my employer point of view was the meeting with Microsoft and the Pope talking about AI and ethics. The responsible AI is something that is really, really important for Microsoft, and we're trying to kind of do as much as we can in order to keep the AI in a safe space and see that it's not utilized in a fraudulent way. Of course, it's a big task, as with everything, with rock and roll, with the internet, with the conveyor belt. Everything is risky. We can always do something stupid with things, but at least I think this was a great moment when this is put so high up in the discussion, the ethics and AI. Microsoft made a huge contribution also to the OpenAI and also merged the OpenAI technology with their search engine and developed that. And then the story continues. Going further, so I heard, you know, about the history of AI, I assume, looking at the previous presentation. So it was nice. There was a lot of machine learning and so on. But what we're talking about with the OpenAI is one kind of branch of artificial intelligence and machine learning, and that is generative AI. And that is the kind of a group where all this kind of ChatGPT and OpenAI stems from. We had the artificial intelligence, which was trying to kind of imitate the human intelligence. We come to the machine learning, models that can learn, deep learning with the neural networks, and then to generative AI, which creates new written, visual, audio material and content from natural language prompts or existing data. So that's what it's all about. As I am not a very technical person, so this is kind of asked from a smarter person what this actually is. So GPT comes from pre-trained transformer models, and it's a model that generates text. That's what it is. And it's trained on large data sets of text, and then it learns patterns and relations between words. So it actually has, it's like a vector system. So you have like a dog, then you have a relationship to dog food, and then you have a collar and a leash and whatever, poopy bags. So it creates this kind of a universe of different kinds of words that it puts together. So pitfalls with these large language models, because they are not perfect at all. You have all read about these people who have been having discussions with ChatGPT and been very, very, very shocked about the kind of results and the information that they get as an answer. And this is because of there is like a, in ChatGPT, for example, it doesn't tell where did it get the information. So you don't have any sources mentioned in the text. So it just kind of puts together the information based on the kind of a training material and the data available. So there is no sources mentioned. There is also a possibility for bias. So it has like a prejudice if there is or bias, depending on the data that it has been trained. And if you look at the ChatGPT, so we have to remember that it has been trained mostly with the Western data sets. So even though there is a lot of data, but it's not modified for all cultures, for example. So it might not work in every country in a similar way. For us, it has like the same values and similar way of answering and so on. But still, it's still, that's a good thing to remember. Also, I think what is a little bit cute is that these models also hallucinate, like we all do. So it doesn't actually tell the true story always. It can argue against the truth because it kind of finds the words that have some kind of relationship. So it can tell you all kinds of stories and convince that this is the way it is. So there are hallucinations, so be aware. So you should be still aware of and knowledgeable, so you can't take everything for granted that these models bring as an answer to you. These are not mathematical, they don't understand math. They understand text and the kind of, if they have read math, so they understand mathematics based on that, but they don't calculate. So that's good to remember also. So it can kind of take a kind of shortcut to solving mathematical problems. And then there are, of course, prompt hacking. So a way of trying to make the kind of hack the prompts so that they would work in a different way. So this is something that are the pitfalls of these language models. The OpenAI and Microsoft, what do they have for a relationship and how does this work? So OpenAI is its own company that was founded in order to do research of AI and ensure that these models are used for benefit of humanity. So a good cause. Microsoft was an early investor to OpenAI and invested quite a lot of money during the years, but now significant investment was made in the beginning of this year. And Microsoft then, and our kind of mission is to empower all of the people and all the organizations in this world to be kind of able to achieve more. And these two missions go quite nicely hand in hand. Microsoft is an investor, but it also utilizes models developed and trained by OpenAI. So Microsoft doesn't develop models, nor does it train them. But we have a mission to utilize this technology in the solutions that we provide to our customers. Have you heard of all of these models or groups of So these are the kind of subcategories at the moment that we're actively working with. GPT 3.5 and GPT-4, which are the text models. So you prompt with the text and you get text back. ChatGPT is kind of a GPT 3.5 turbo, which makes it more like conversational. So it answers a question and then it can continue. Codex is is a model that understands code and can convert it to text. So it can tell you if somebody has written code, so it can tell you what it actually is in a natural language or vice versa. This we utilize, for example, in something that is called GitHub Copilot that can help you in programming and check your code and so on automatically. DALL-E is a fun thing. I really like it because there you can prompt with text. You can write, I want to have this and that, and it comes with an image back. It doesn't make a search on the internet, but it actually generates an image, and you can also ask it to do it in a different style, as well as you can do it with the text. So you can say that, can you be funnier, or make it a little bit more serious or more fact-based and so on. So you get these nuances. But you have to be quite good in prompting in order to get this happen in one single prompt. Just to clarify a little bit, so OpenAI, its own company, Microsoft, its own company. There is a lot of text. This I have done with Microsoft Bing. So I have asked Microsoft Bing what these different things are. And as you can see, so Microsoft Bing is our kind of a developed, kind of a similar thing than ChatGPT, but we have developed it so that it actually marks the sources, so you can go further. So it combines the search engine and the GPT technology. And there will be new versions of that as well. Then we have Azure OpenAI Service. Azure is the Microsoft Cloud. Everybody aware? Good. And this OpenAI service is part of our AI and machine learning platform or service offering. So it is a possibility to utilize the OpenAI models in a safe and protected environment. For example, utilizing your own data when doing summaries or prompting different things. All right. So here is a little bit more about the Azure OpenAI services. As said, so it's built also on the responsible AI principles. So you can't, the OpenAI service, you have to apply access from your company, and then you have to also describe what kind of use case you are going to apply this on, and it goes through an acceptance process. But everything that you do, all of the data that you have is yours. So data will not be transferred anywhere from your own safe space. And that is a difference between the, for example, the ChatGPT and the internet-based solutions. So this is something that you control yourselves. And these all models are available in the Azure OpenAI service. Here is kind of just a little bit clarification what these different models do. I already explained there before, but for example here, you can prompt with the GPT 3.54. I'll come back to the 4. So you can ask them to write a tagline for an ice cream shop, and it does that. It makes a suggestion. And then you can ask it to redefine it if you think that's boring. Then you have Codex, where you can kind of prompt the different tables and so on, and ask it to create an SQL query. And also it brings you the result. This is a very, very simple, simple kind of example. But it understands very many different code languages. So, and it's applied into the GitHub Copilot, for example. Most likely Codex will be replaced with the GPT models when they are a little bit more developed. DALL-E then, here for example, so it has prompted a white Siamese cat, and here is the result. So it has drawn this picture by itself, and the ChatGPT, which is then a conversational thing. I have mentioned a couple of times the Microsoft responsible AI principles, and this is something that is very, very important for us when we work with AI. This subset was, or the kind of our responsible AI journey has started already 2017, and we really believe that the development of AI must be guided, as we have read very many worrying articles about kind of how to work with AI and so on. So trying to have like a guardrails from different aspects for privacy and security, reliability, the frauds, and the kind of the causes that are not positive for humankind, and so on. So that is why we have like a lot of principles defined, a whole organization in place to do this, and this is very highly valued thing. And we want to also kind of give our customers the possibility to, in a safe space, to test and try out different models and develop their business and your kind of own value. I was thinking that I will show you a little piece, just a tiny video, just to get your spirits up, about how we at Microsoft have thought of, for example, implementing the OpenAI to our own office tools. This is an example or a film presenting the Microsoft 365 Copilot. It is from yesterday, so it was announced that it's now in a, not the private preview, but a, what was it? But anyhow, for 600 selected customers. So it's available for testing. And it is huge what kind of productivity enhancements we can gain. So let's see if you notice there is the Word and PowerPoint, Excel, Teams, all kinds of tools that you usually use every day. But let's see how it will develop and how it will look like in the future, in a near future. Okay, so no more grinding with the PowerPoints. But what this means is actually that we are going to free up a lot of time for creative work to elevate the things that we do today. And I think our kind of innovation capacity and kind of the kind of utilization of time is going to be totally different. And the creative powers with the co-pilots and with the help and assistance will do a lot of good for us actually. As we know, so we do a lot of self-service job as well, and those jobs have disappeared more or less, and we do that, and then we work at our own works and our jobs and so on. So we utilize a lot of time for stuff that we could kind of hand over to somebody else. And now we have like the co-pilot. Oh, sorry, now it starts again. I have to do it a different way. There. So. Yes, and this is, I just show you shortly. This is, for example, a little animation of the GitHub Copilot, which helps you to program. So it gives you suggestions of kind of what you're coding. Maybe this is good, maybe you want to do this and that. So it actually writes code for you if you choose so. It can also check kind of the quality of the code and so on. Many companies are looking into this one as well. So you can kind of have the standard coding in place. Another thing is our Power BI data visualization tools, where you can, this is a very early, you have to go to the conference that we have, Microsoft Build, now on 23rd to 25th, because they are going to show you how Power BI is going to work from now on. And there is the natural language prompts that you can do. So you can change the layouts of your reports and have different kinds of graphs and so on without needing to write the DAX code and so on. So that's pretty cool as well. Of course, the Power Platform is also kind of run with the natural language prompts already, and the features that you saw on Teams on the video. So the Teams Premium has already the capability of doing notes from your meeting. So it has the main points, and also that you can, if you haven't been in the meeting, so you can see where your name has been mentioned. So you can go back to those parts and see. And then you get the to-do list also if you haven't been there. Or then you can see when you have spoken and so on. And the transcript, you know already, transcripts and so on are already kind of generated when you put that on Teams. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and we have already avatars. No. Have you seen those?
No, I create my avatar and send him to the meeting.
Yeah. And we have been testing the avatars actually. So some of you never know if somebody is actually by the computer or not, because they have, my colleagues have like created their avatars and they are like reacting and they're also speaking. So if you can't have a video on, it's nicer maybe to have something there. But it depends on the avatar, how it looks like. It can destroy the whole meeting also. Then I said, so the Bing search engine, or the Edge and Bing. So Bing is kind of a elevated ChatGPT. So there you have like the source references, and there you will be having the GPT-4, which means that it actually analyzes also pictures. So you can have like a text and picture analysis, and it gives you a text answer. So that's pretty nifty. I was thinking that I could have a little kind of a demo for you, and I need to involve you a little bit. This demo is done by our partner, Active Solutions, who are really kind of in the forefront of OpenAI. And they have built a demo site with a lot of different kinds of applications. It's only like for playing around. But I was thinking that we can do an exercise where we have actually the text prompting, and it comes back with text and pictures. But you need to decide a little bit of things, so just a second. So let's go to the demo site. All right. So here we are. This is Active Solutions demo site, which is at the moment at least, so it's protected by passwords and so on. They have created a lot of different kinds of demos. For example, chat miner, that's quite fun. If you have like a long discussion, recorded discussion, for example, with a customer service person and a customer, so you can just paste it here and it makes a summary of the discussion, the main points that was discussed and solved. Also frequently asked questions that you could add on your web page and so on. You can generate with the Bing, for example, these kinds of chat discussions. You just say, generate a lengthy dialogue between a customer and a customer service person. And then you just mention what kind of product you want them to discuss and so on. And it makes a... So that's fun. But Productifier that they have created is for marketing purposes and for communication. And what they have done here is that we are going to now together define the different parameters, and it will give a suggestion for small advertisement or product summaries. So I would need to know what kind of product. Somebody just tell me a product. It can be a car or it can be whatever. What do you want to have? It can be a brand also.
I'm trying to sell the ChatGPT as a product.
Okay, let's see how it, ChatGPT. Yes, okay. What is the use case? Is it for having fun or getting smarter or what?
Domination?
Let's see what this says. Okay, domination. Okay. What kind of color? Theme color? Red. Okay, good. Okay, and we put the size is medium here. It's very Swedish. We're always lagom. It's like a middle good. Everything is, and then we're happy. Do you want to have like the pictures in a photo or painting or drawing? What kind of style? Photo is good. Okay. And English, we have that. You can define 3 different target audiences that you want to communicate this to. It can be elderly people, it can be cats, and it can be children, whatever. Okay. Politicians, something else?
Teenagers.
What did you say?
Teenagers.
Teenagers, yeah. And the third one? Turtles. Let's see what this is going to be. Okay, then I hit create ads and it starts thinking. As you see, there is a little process going on. So let's, it needs to think a while. So let's see what we'll get as a result. Will be fun to see this one. I have had all kinds of, very popular color usually is the pink. And then we have had dogs and cats and all kinds of other target audiences. Is it still thinking? No, it should be done. Okay, here we go. So it has created 3 different kinds of ads. One for politicians, one for teenagers, and one for turtles. It has created these pictures with the dolly. So it has actually made these images. Conquer the world with ChatGPT. Are you a politician looking for an edge in a world domination? So it's pretty good. Look no further than ChatGPT. So this is fun. Take over the world with ChatGPT today. And then you have the teenagers. Are you ready to take over the world? La la la. And all over the medium size comes with this color. Teenager masterminds with ChatGPT. And that was good picture, but not that much of the kind of in the content about the teenagers. Okay, turtles. Oh my goodness, size just right for your needs. And the bold red color, ultimate weapon for your arsenal. Now it becomes a little bit, connect with other turtles and plan your strategy for global domination. This is Fantastic. Yeah, so quite good ads. But you see that this is quite powerful tool when kind of, this is just a demo, fun site. But for example, in communication, so you have different kinds of channels and different ways of communicating, for example, with your customers. So you have the TikTok, and you have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, different kinds of ads in different channels where you need to utilize different kind of language. So this could be also a choice of channel. So you get kind of a first draft at least for your ads, and then when you develop and kind of train and it becomes better and better to find or create the content and the pictures, so then you save a lot of time. But I think still, I create a lot of text with Bing for my presentations and for some talks and so on, but I never kind of just take them. You still need to edit and check that it's kind of sensible. So maybe take over the world with ChatGPT today is not totally ethically correct. Yeah, any questions on that? But just as an example, what you can do and accomplish. I will show you now a couple of the normal kind of use cases that our customers are mostly looking at. And there you can see that the content generation is for kind of generating automatic responses, generating automatic content for your websites, and also do personalized user interfaces, automate creation of product descriptions. And this is a huge problem for large companies that have quite complex products. And they have like the kind of documentation is a little bit all over the place, and they have a lot of text, user manuals, and so on. So they can actually kind of summarize the text in a good product description. Summarization also very good in making lists. On the Active Solutions demo site, they had also created an example of this. You get the newsletters, you know, with a lot of text from your boss, from your school, your kids' hobbies, and this and that, and there is a lot of dates and a lot of things happening. So the newsletter kind of a tool that the Active Solutions had, so it actually makes calendar bookings for you as well, directly to your calendar for the things that are relevant for you and your kid, for example. The code generation, of course, really important and very powerful tool. And then the semantic search for knowledge mining and reasoning over data. So these are kind of user areas or the use case areas that we see regularly. We have a lot of customer service requests, and if you have like technical service personnel on the field so that they get the answers fast from different vast amounts of different sources. There is also with the sustainability, it's difficult to summarize data from different places because usually the kind of sustainability data is on your invoices and it's in the documents and it's all over. So that is also kind of a one usage area. How much time do we have left? We have time, good, because I have a little story for you guys. And this is about the kind of the codecs and the code generation. How many of you have ever used Nokia telephone? Yeah, not the younger ones haven't. I haven't even seen that. But anyhow, Nokia was, and I'm a proud Finn, actually. I come from Finland originally, and then I moved to Stockholm, and now I'm here. But anyhow, so I had to take Nokia as an example here. Nokia introduced the first game on mobile phones. Can you imagine, Kate? In 1997, and it was called Snake. And I got totally addicted to this game. So I played it, you too. I played it everywhere. So you kind of fetch these little pixels with this snake, and it just grew and grew, and it went faster and faster, and you kind of maneuvered with the arrow buttons, and you have to be really fast so that it doesn't either crash with itself when it grows in length or then to the borders. And this game was so big, and it's huge, and it's still huge. So it was arranged these big old kind of gaming conferences and events around this, and world championships with Snake. It was a very, very talented programmer, Taneli Armanto, who had been started studying computer science and so on. But in their school, they only had one computer. That was the time when I was also in school, approximately, because we had only one computer and everything else was done offline. But anyhow, he had really kind of built his career around programming, and was also one who was programming the different kinds of play tunes, you know, how your mobile phone rings and so on. So a guru of his time. And they made this handwritten game. So they wrote all of the code by themselves, because this is kind of never heard of thing to have this game in a mobile phone. So this was a really milestone moment. Now, it's a couple of years after that, and I will introduce you now to the New Age Taneli. New Age Taneli is my colleague, Philip. Philip created his picture with DALL-E, and he's a real guy. I work with him. He doesn't look exactly like that. This was a little bit more kind of retouched and so on, but he looks good. He has studied at the business school. He has no programming background, but he's very interested in utilizing technology, and he understands a little bit how code works. But he hasn't programmed or anything. And he heard about the GitHub Copilot, the code assistant, you might say. And what he did was trying to create this new version of Snake without programming background. And I will show you now how did Philip's, the New Age Taneli's Snake game look like. This is the end result. So, and he did this all with the graphics and everything. I know it's not so beautiful, but anyhow, a guy who doesn't code in 15 minutes. So that's all that it was needed when he utilized the GitHub Copilot. And most of his time was spent on making the lawn, the grass on the background, making the face for the snake, and also implementing the Microsoft Azure logo that the snake eats. So that was done in 15 minutes. I think that's quite amazing. But it also kind of spins you off to thinking, what about our work now? What are we going to do? And how is this going to impact our daily lives? Because there is a lot of programmers, and people are good in programming, and people are very much investing in this skill set as well. We have been talking a lot about prompting experts and prompting skills, and I think that's going to be very, very important in the future. Though I do not agree with the kind of a negative hype around AI and all the models. As mentioned, so we have always been in a changing working environment and scene. If we look back, so 60% of the jobs that we have had, for example, from the 1940s, they don't exist anymore. And we see all of our jobs also evolving every day. Some jobs are disappearing, new ones are coming, and modifying. So this is kind of the circle of life somehow, the evolution of work. And AI, of course, it will disrupt the work what we do today, and it will change the way we do things, and mostly for the positive, because we had the conveyor belt, we have the internet, we got the rock and roll, which was also going to destroy the world, and we have a lot of different kinds of innovations that we have taken to us, learned to use them, and elevated our skill set. So I think the AI is exactly the same thing. And then again, when we think about these large language models, so they are definitely not going to kind of put this world out of its balance. And we are smart people, so I think we can handle the change by learning, by studying, by trying out different things. So I think it's good to have critical thinking. I think it's good to think about also your own safety and security, where you, for example, utilize ChatGPT or Bing. So maybe you don't put there your company secrets, your own secrets. So keep them hidden from the internet as usual, and also think about kind of what is kind of the balance here, and be kind of a creative, but still have like a good head on your shoulders. A study that hasn't been confirmed really yet, but came out, which showed that, for example, the video that I showed you, the kind of higher the productivity, the more we enjoy our job. So we get more stuff done. We don't have to grind with the daily kind of Excel updates and doing PowerPoints and all of that stuff. It's not necessary, but needs to be done. So I think that's a fantastic thing. Also, quality enhancement, when we have like somebody who lays the kind of the first step for us, so we can actually focus on enhancing the quality and focusing on the innovation and new ideas. And also, this is a tool for us to increase equality, because this gives us a possibility to do things that maybe we weren't able to do before because of a disability, a lack of education, lack of kind of whatever. So this is something that we need to also consider, that this puts us kind of as people and humans more on an equal kind of space. And it, as said, has shown increases in job satisfaction. But I would still want to leave you with the thinking that try out Bing, try out ChatGPT. Don't put your names of your secret lovers in there or your other secrets, but try and start kind of testing the prompting, because this is created with one prompt, this fantastic picture. This is very Scandinavian, it's like a Viking, yeah. So, and I can't do this. I can't prompt this kind of figure. If I prompt something, so I have to prompt at least 5 times before I get the results that I want. So I really need to go that prompting course that Microsoft has launched. So I urge you guys to just go ahead, try, learn, and experiment. It's not the AI who is going to take your jobs, but it's the people who utilize AI, like you guys, who are going to do it. So more you know, more successful you are, and more kind of utilization areas you will find. Thank you so much. Time for some questions, maybe.
Yeah.